Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Hawk and we are beginning episode 3 of the Let's Farm here on the Simple Midwest map. So at the end of last episode we had cut in this new field here on the downside slope off from the house of this extra space that we had, because the idea was that we would work on getting it planted and turn it into potentially a grass field so that we could have grass to potentially put in a sheep barn or maybe do hay for cows or something along those lines. But the thought was we could use this and at least get another field going. Right now we definitely have some weeds we need to take care of. We also need to get some fertilizer in here and more than likely some lime. I think what we really want to do, though, is get grass planted in here, just to at least get started. Outside of that, the other thing I did do was part of the discussion last episode was to maybe put in some storage. So what I did was I bought a storage shelf so we could put seeds, fertilizer, and lime up here. And then we also got 2 liquid storage tanks. One for fertilizer and one for herbicide was the thought, just because our sprayer is kind of small, and though I would like to fill these up, definitely the one thing that I want to do is have a place to be able to unload so that we can then refill with the other as we need. So with that, the only other thing that we have is I did notice, as I was finishing up the cutting into that field, was that we did have some, I put that a little closer, we'll have to move that because I can't get through the door, but I did notice that the tractor is a little damaged. It is showing that it needs some potential maintenance here soon. We are playing with the realistic damage mod, so I have the toolkit that we need here in order to deal with that. And we do have, if we check, we have 2 faults known. We haven't done the inspection, and so I don't know if we have any hidden faults yet. But I'm not sure. I think we're still fine for now to go ahead and get a few things done, get a little bit more work done that we want to get done today. And then at the end of the day, I'll go ahead and get that taken care of. But the first thing we need to do is we need to see, do we have, how are we for weeds? Yeah, so our new field definitely has some weeds in it. So we need to spray that. We need to get that taken care of. And then we also need to get, so our pH levels and our nitrogen is off in that field a little bit. So we need to get that done. So what I'm thinking is we'll go ahead and get hooked up to the sprayer. We still have fertilizer, so we'll go ahead and treat this with the fertilizer. And then we'll go ahead and get the lime on, and we'll take care of the weeds as well, just on this field. So I think that's the first thing we're going to get done today. And so we're going to have to get out here, get hooked up to our sprayer, and then go from there. So I'm going to get that going, and then we will see what we have from there. Oh, the other thing we need to do is we do need to drop off this front loader. I think we'll go ahead and just put that for now. Maybe over here in this corner. Because we're not going to need that. We will need we're going to need the sensor for doing the other things we need to do. Get that out there. I'm back in the tractor. Alright. Got the sensor out here in the back of the barn. So I'll go ahead and get that hooked up. I'll get the sprayer hooked up. We'll get it filled up with... Maybe we'll go ahead and treat the weeds quick first, just to get that taken care of. And then we'll get the fertilizer done and get some lime on it quick. all of those should not take very long at all. But I'll get those done, and then we'll see what else we have that might be available. See if we have any contracts that we want to do, because we do still need to stay ahead of that loan payment that we have. We're still at about $8,000 a month on our loan payment. So let me get in here. Let me go ahead and get hooked up. I'll get out. We'll get the weeds sprayed, and then I'll get the fertilizer. Well, actually, we already have fertilizer, so I'm going to go ahead and get the fertilizer laid down. And then we'll get the lime down, and then I'm going to quickly spray for weeds, and we'll get those taken care of. And we'll see what else we have after that. in June, the first day of June, actually. So we are still, like I said, we're doing the 5 and 3. And so we'll see what we get. Yesterday, basically, we finished up taking care of the grass field over here. We got it all fertilized. We got it all limed. We got it all weeded. So we are good. We need to roll and plow, but I'm not too concerned about that for right now. Our other field down here for sunflowers, I believe we should be doing pretty well there at this point. We had finished getting everything done. We are still, we still don't have any weeds, not that we're seeing, so that's a good sign. So for today, we're probably going to be just focusing on trying to get some contracts done. We are sitting at 467,000, so we could potentially start looking at getting the preparations done so we can get the sheep pen in over here. But we still have a month of growth that we need to probably get, maybe probably 2 months worth of growth going on over there in the grass before we harvest that. And that'll definitely be rentals. So let's see what we have for, if we have any contracts for the day. Hopefully we do. I also got the repairs done on the tractor, so that was a good thing. So still no contracts. So here are our other options. Like I said, we own this field here. We could look at maybe buying like 18 or, well, 20 is outside our range. 22, we'll be pushing it, especially when we got to get the materials, but they are something we could look at doing. Seeing about maybe getting a different field as well, just to kind of add to what we have. 23 is not horrible. What does it have in it? All right. Yeah, it has oats as well. So looking at it, I'm thinking it would be nice to kind of stay close, right? 20 unfortunately is outside of our purchase range, but if we were to purchase 18, it does take pretty much a little over half of what we have left. We only need to lease the combine for harvesting, and then we hopefully would have a fair amount after that from the harvest from the oats, because we are looking at, oops, wrong one. We are looking at a couple more months before we can do this, but that was oats, so basically we'd be able to harvest that next month, right? It was oats, wasn't it? Yeah, it's oats. So we could feasibly look at purchasing field 18, and then we get a harvest next month. Then we just got to get through the 3 days that we have left for this month. But we have, let's go take a look really quick at it. I'm kind of thinking one of the other things we need is a little truck. We could definitely use the tractor to get there. Why don't we go ahead and use the tractor for now? But having something to get us around that's not necessarily the tractor could be helpful. The others need to find a place to put all them seeds. So, but let's get in here. Let's go ahead and run over to 18 really quick. Take a look at it. I mean, we're not going to have... We won't have the field data, obviously, but I was looking at it and thinking that that was a potential that we could do, right? It will leave us kind of short on cash, but it does give us the ability to just make some extra off harvest. And again, we can lease the harvester and the combine to be able to do what we need to do. Be nice to be able to get one of the other fields that is sunflowers, because then we'd be just kind of all in one, right? So yield's kind of low. We could spray for weeds. I'm not seeing any, but that doesn't mean they're not here. So, because we do have the narrow tire, so we could spray for weeds just to see. We could potentially put down some lime. I mean, we're getting kind of, and some fertilizer. We could get those down in here. We've got everything we would need for that. So we could get that down in here, maybe increase the yield out of this field a little bit. So let's look at that. Because the other, because I think 11, yeah, 11 is going to cost quite a little bit more. We'd still have plenty of work we would need to do there for the day. We would be cutting into a lot of our money, where here we'd still have a little over 200,000. We have the potential, I think, but we can get in here and get a harvester. We've got some choices here. The John Deere gives us the ability to get to a little over 14,000. Not too worried about the tires. The wheel setup's fine. Wheel setup's fine. I don't see any reason to do anything there. We could get front signals or back signals, but I mean, we're just looking at leasing something. So I think the grain carrier is going to be our most important. We could, oh, that's true. We don't have unfortunately, we don't have the maize plus in due to the error I was getting. So doing the extra straw from it isn't imperative. And get the longer pipe's always nice. And the GPS, right? So we'd be at 252. Leasing would be 12,000. So that's still well within our ability to get there. And then combination, we can get, well, we can get a 9-meter corn header for it. That is another 4,000. So we'd be looking at about 16,000 to lease the harvester and the header for it. We would be looking at, if we were to do that, we'd be looking at not the corn, because the first one we would be looking at is the grain. With that one, we'd be looking at another 2. So about 14,000 to lease the harvester, and then we could probably get enough off of this field, depending on what we have for potential there. You know, we're not horrible here, not too bad. So Johnson's Farmer Market is the best, and I believe that is, where's Johnson's Farmers Market? Isn't that up here? Yeah, so that's the one up north. So we'd have a little bit of transport we'd have to do to get there, but we could harvest this, cart it up, get it in, and probably make a fairly good amount, maybe enough to cover the extra cost for purchasing this field and the harvester. And then after that, the sunflowers a couple months later would be probably pretty good for us too. Yeah, so still no contracts. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and purchase this field. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And that gives us a little bit more area. I'm going to head over here and pick up the soil sample machine, and then we will get this taken care of because we don't have any soil samples. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done. Grab that. I'll get that knocked out, and then we will see what the results are, and we will go from there. So we've got our soil samples back. That field's not too bad. So we will go ahead and get, because we need to get the pHs taken care of a little bit, and we definitely need to fix the nitrogen levels. So I'm going to go ahead and get hooked up. We're going to get this sprayed with fertilizer, and we're going to get it done with lime. And we still don't have any contracts, so we'll get our fertilizer, we'll get a lime in here, and then we'll go from there. We don't have any weeds, so that's good. All right, I'm going to get that knocked out, and I'll see you when we're all done. Okay, and we have now accomplished all of the chores here on the old farmstead. We have fertilized, we have limed, and we have weeded everything. So all three of our fields are good to go. We are going to go pick up the last of the little fertilizer, or not fertilizer, lime that we had over here at the vehicle place. And we will see, let's see, do we have any contracts? Oop, no, still no contracts. Although we should, hopefully, the big part is there's no barley, there's no grass, right? So we probably aren't going to get many contracts for June, unfortunately. So June may end up being a wash for us. So we'll go over, we'll get this stuff picked up. I will get back over to the farmstead, or back to the house here, drop this stuff off. Probably spend some time getting the other items that we have over here just kind of back over to the house. Get everything kind of put away, and then probably call it a day for today. And I think with that, we're also going to call this an episode. And we will call that a wrap, and we will see you next time. Thanks for coming by.